Hello and welcome to Dave's Recent Things. I'm Dave, and today I'm going to go through how I made this Dollar Tree shore living beach themed wreath. Why don't we just get started and I'll show you how I put it all together. I purchased this 14-inch wire wreath frame from the Dollar Tree, and I have three different colors of Deco mesh that comes from the shore living line. So there's a white, a beige, and a tinsel blue, and then a blue. And for each one, I have two of each. So that's a total of 6 rolls of Deco mesh. Along with the shoreline living anchor, I'm going to add this. I don't know how I'm going to do it just yet, but I want to put this on. I also have this nautical rope, and I've got 3 bundles of it. And again, that's just your shore living. And as well, these little wooden anchors. I don't know if I'm going to use them or not. And finally, these cute little starfish. They're white, they're pretty, a perfect accent for this beach themed wreath. So that's everything from the Dollar Tree shore living line that I'm going to use today. Starting off with a little Wreath 101, this is a 14-inch wire wreath frame. It has 4 wires that go all the way around with anchors every so often all the way around. And there are 6 sections in this entire wreath frame, and we're going to be using the 2 middle wires the entire way around. First, I'm going to start off cutting my deco mesh, and I cut it at 7-inch strips. So you see in the beginning there, I cut it with scissors, but here's a little tip. Find something or make something that's 7 inches long, roll it up like I'm showing you here, cut off the excess, then you just take your scissors, place it in between the mesh and your board, and then just chop right across. And that way, that's going to give you a nice, easy, clean cut of all of your deco mesh all at once. So again, just cut the other side, and then you have all this beautifully cut mesh already. Now this mesh measures 6 inches by 7 inches. So the deco mesh is 6 inches, and I am measuring it 7 inches long. So I do the exact same rolling method with that beige color and just cut along those lines. Look at how fast and easy that is. And I do the exact same thing with the white. So all in all, I've got all of my bundles cut, and I'm going to grab some pipe cleaners, and I'm just going to chop those pipe cleaners in half. And I usually take about 18, 19 pipe cleaners and cut them in half because it all depends in how many rolls, or I shouldn't say rolls or bundles you make. Now for this, I was able to make 136 strips of deco mesh. And for each bundle, I'm going to use 4 pieces of deco mesh. So you see there, just to start off, I did a blue, 2 beige, a white, and I'm going to need my pipe cleaner as well. All you're going to do is you take one of your rolls, and this is easiest to follow the natural curl, and you're just going to curl it up using your fingers. And then what I do is I hold it in between my peace fingers, let's put it that way. I just find the center, hold it in, and hold it down, holding that in place. And then I still have 2 hands free to roll up my second piece. So again, we're just rolling it up, finding my center, and putting it in between my 2 fingers. And again, that third piece, we're going to roll it up, stick it in between my fingers, and do my 4th and final piece, rolling it up and sticking it in between my fingers. When I'm all done with all 4, I take my pipe cleaner, find the center, I just drag it along my palm, and then I transfer the deco mesh from my left hand to my right hand, folding it over, and then you just do a couple of twists to hold that in shape, and our first bundle is made. And there you can kind of see it all coming together, all those cute little loops, and then we have a little excess pipe cleaner at the bottom to attach it to the wreath. Why don't we just go through one more time, nice and slowly. So I'm going to take my 4 pieces of deco mesh again. Doesn't matter, the order or the amount. I just randomly pick 4. And then I'm just going to start with my first piece. Using the natural curl of the mesh, I'm just going to roll that up Find that center, place it in between my peace fingers, hold it in place, and then I'm going to roll my second one. Find that center, put it in between my fingers. Here's the third one, rolling it, and my fourth and final piece, we're going to roll that as well. Put it in between those fingers, grab that pipe cleaner, slide it along the palm of your hand, transfer the deco mesh from your left hand to your right hand, fold it over, and then a couple of good twists. And that's going to create another bundle. Now, for my wreath, I ended up having 34 bundles. And what I'm going to start to do is 5 bundles per section. And I'm going to use the pipe cleaner extension there at the bottom to attach it to the wreath. So we're going to start by flipping the wreath over, and then the good side is going to face down. How we're going to start is by anchoring the first bundle. So that's going to go on a crossbar along with the 2 inner wires that I'm showing you here. So you just take those 2 pipe cleaners, or the 2 ends of that one pipe cleaner, and then you just make sure that that anchor and 2 wires are in between, and then you just twist it around. Just give it a couple of good twists, and that's going to hold that in place. And as you can see, that doesn't move around at all when you put it on the anchor. Now for the inside bundles, we're just going to use those 2 wires again on the inside. We're going to use the 2 ends from the pipe cleaner. Make sure those 2 wires are inside, and then we're just going to wrap it around. And really, that is the method that we're going to use throughout the entire wreath. So again, per section, I do 5 of these bundles all the way around, and then I do 1 bundle on the anchor and 4 bundles in between each anchor piece, crossbar, if that makes sense. I'll show you in just a second. Here it is. So 1 anchor, 1, 2, 3, 4 in between, and then I'm going to put another one on that anchor, and that's going to be the 5th for that whole section. Of course, at the very end, since I have 34 bundles made, I'm going to have a couple more in between here and there. And then I just do that right at the very end, and I'll show you how I do that as well, just kind of filling it in the blanks. But here you go. I just separate them, and then I have the 2 anchors, and then that is 4 in the middle. And look how nice and full that looks. I love the combination of these colors. It's a perfect combination for the beach theme. So let's just finish off. We'll continue on adding those bundles onto my wire wreath frame. And here you go. I am almost done. I have some left over, like I said. So now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to look around, see where there's some holes. But first, what I like to do is chop off the excess pipe cleaner. And then I'm going to use a little bit of hot glue just to hold it all together. So here you see I've added 5 in the middle of this one, 5 in the middle of this one. There's a hole here, so I'm just going to add an extra one here. I mean, we've made the bundles, so instead of throwing them out, why don't we use them, right? And again, I chop off the excess, add a little hot glue on there just to finish it all off. And then I have my last bundle that I'm attaching in there. And then I'm going to cut that excess off. And I'm going to add a little hot glue. Once that's all done, space them out a little bit. Just make sure they're nicely spaced and evenly spaced. And then the final reveal of our base loop wreath. Look how beautiful that is. Nice and full. We don't see the wire. It's got great color. I love the loops on these. Now it's time to decorate our anchor. So this is just a wooden anchor that I got at the Dollar Tree. Again, it's the Shore Living line. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a couple of base coats on it first. This is just a white acrylic paint. I'm going to paint the entire anchor. And at this point, I was just thinking I'll have a white anchor on there. And then as the project kind of went along, I added more and more detail to it. And you'll see a little bit later on. But here I'm just doing a second coat of that white acrylic paint just to get that anchor going. I mean, you could totally use that plain beige natural wood color anchor, that's totally great. I just decided to use a little bit of the white. And here I am adding dry brushing on some blue paint. And then I decided, you know what? I want to add a little bit more. So I decided to wrap some twine around it. I apologize for the lighting on this section. I don't know what happened. My lighting just went totally wonky for a little bit, but it will correct itself in the end. So I'm just wrapping it around and I'm just hot gluing the ends at the back and cutting off the excess. And I'm just going to do the other side as well, just for a little added bonus to that anchor, just to give it some more interest and some more depth. And I'm going to wrap the bottom section as well using the same twine. And now that it's all done, I'm just going to place that anchor. It's all dry, all ready. And I'm just going to figure out where I want it to go, just kind of place it down. And I know I'm also going to use this nautical rope and these white starfish as well. So now I'm just kind of getting everything ready. And then I finally decide this is where I want the anchor to go. I'm going to hot glue it down. It's very light, so I didn't use pipe cleaners or anything to attach it to the wreath. For me, I needed more detail on the anchor. I just thought there wasn't enough. I wasn't happy with it. And of course, you'll see me do it back and forth a couple of times. So I do add some silver paint to it. And now it's time to try to figure out where I'm going to do this nautical rope. I love the dark navy and the natural rope look together combined with the twists. So I'm going to just start off by looping it through the anchor. I'm going to bring it around back and I'm just going to attach it to my wreath frame just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere, using that hot glue and holding it in place. And once it's dry, I'm just going to flip it back over. And really, all I'm going to do is wrap this around. I have no method of it. I'm just going to wrap it around, see where it goes. I did end up using a couple of the those bundles as well. It was 2 in total that I used. And at the very end, I just hot glue it down once I'm happy with how it all came together. And I'm just going to cut that excess off. And there we go. I've got my little nautical rope wrapped around. I'm just trying to see if I want more there, but I don't. Because really, that anchor was bothering me. I was like, I don't know what's missing or what's gone on. So what I decided to do was, I'm just going to make it silver. So just right on top, I just add a couple coats of the silver, and then I was happier with it. And now I'm just going to add my little starfish on there, just using my hot glue and placing it randomly. I wanted to have a couple on this side and then one on the other side. Just kind of spread them around a little bit. And there you go. Once I looked at it all, I thought, you know what? I'm going to take some acrylic paint. I have a blue, I have a brown, and I have like a beigey taupe color. And I'm just going to play around with the colors of the starfish. So I just basically use a little bit of paint. I mix paint. I try the blue. I try the dark color. I try the taupe. And I'm just playing around with the colors just to kind of get some more interest and a more natural look to those starfish. Of course, if you want to put them on, that's totally cool without painting them. They totally popped on there. I just loved it. And of course, here I am back at the anchor again. So what I decided to do is dry brush the outside with a little bit of black paint. And that gave it some more depth. And I was totally happy with it once that was all completed. So I'm just dry brushing that on there. Of course, you can put that anchor on there white, you can do blue, you can leave it the natural color. It's totally up to you. But here is my shore living from Dollar Tree, nautical beach themed curly wreath. I just love how this turned out. It just made me smile and it made me think about going to the beach. What about you? I really hope you enjoyed today's video and today's wreath. I just love the shore living line from the Dollar Tree. Thank you so much for watching today. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I upload a new video. Thanks again for watching. Take care. Bye for now.